I am learning to realize that I am missing a fortune, missing out on a fortune by not passing along a bunch of bull spit rumors as truth. But we'll do it the way we do it. Mike Fisher reporting from Frisco in the Fishbowl, right down the street, of course, from Cowboys headquarters at the Star. Michael Gallup trade talk for Gilmore, the all-pro cornerback from New England. Now, I must tell you, I do understand the temptation. I didn't used to. I didn't used to at all. I didn't get it. I didn't understand or care about branding or monetization. I didn't know what any of that meant. I really didn't. Now I do, and so now I understand the temptation to have a screaming headline that suggests that the Cowboys are in a conversation with the New England Patriots to trade wide receiver Michael Gallup for Stephon Gilmore, the cornerback. But nobody is saying, nobody who matters, it's saying it's true. Nobody. There's one guy on Twitter, CJ somebody, who changes his bio every week and makes stuff up every week, and then when he's wrong, inevitably he deletes the tweet. That's the only guy that I've seen who's even pretending that there's a source here, and he's wrong. I'm not saying that, and we'll break down the logic behind, or the illogic behind a Gilmore trade, behind a Gallup trade, and whether they have anything to do with each other. But he's wrong to claim there's a source. There is no source, because there's no substance to this at this time. And I'm seeing, and I hate to be, I hope I don't come across like a jackass here, but again, I'm seeing guys on YouTube, and they're doing a Stephon Gilmore for Michael Gallup trade video like every week for the last month. I mean, okay, but and you're getting a lot of followers, and I guess you're monetizing and branding, but you're wrong. If we want to speculate about, boy, they should do, that's a different category. But this one doesn't even come under the heading of gossip or rumor. It's just, as near as I could tell, the people I've talked to, it's just made up, let alone trade talk. Now, let's go through the facts of these principles and see if we can make some sense out of where this could ever go, while again acknowledging that it's not even in the starting gate. Michael Gallup's name did come up when the Cowboys were involved in Jamal Adams' trade talk when he was with the Jets. It got tossed into the pile. Also, over the course of time, their trade talks also got, other names got tossed in the pile, included Zach Martin and Tyron Smith. So there was a lot of tossing and there was a lot of piling. And of course, it never went anywhere. And we reported those things at the time. Those were factual conversations that we were told about by people involved. In one case, by the way, people involved from both teams. It never came to fruition. So if somebody wants to speculate that Michael Gallup might be a name to toss onto a pile here, you've got that as evidence, because it's happened. Okay, then there's the contractual circumstances that involve the Cowboys' top three wide receivers. $20 million a year going to Amari Cooper. CeeDee Lamb, they believe, and I do too, I bet you do too, is going to be a star wide receiver. And then Michael Gallup, who has a chance to be very good, and has been very good. This is Michael Gallup's final contractual year. Are you going to pay all three of those guys all going forward? Most teams would say no. We'll probably just do two of the three. Can you keep Michael Gallup and escape from Amari Cooper, thus saving $20 million? Yes, you can. I've been told that the Cowboys absolutely have it on their list of things to do, if necessary, the flipping of the switch of the contract for Amari Cooper. That would basically keep him here longer, make it harder to say goodbye to him as soon as after this upcoming year. But they haven't flipped that switch yet. Now, they also haven't gone and signed anybody that would require the $12 million worth of room that would come with that flipping a switch. I think we all hope they do that. I want them to kick the can a little bit on Amari Cooper. But here's why they don't, for now anyway. Not kicking the can on Amari Cooper, not flipping the switch on Amari Cooper means they could say goodbye to him after this year and have it not be cap unfriendly. And then, for, I would think, substantially less than $20 million, sign Michael Gallup and have Michael Gallup be the number 2 receiver and CeeDee Lamb's the number 1 receiver, and you say goodbye to Amari Cooper. So these are all the cogs in the machine that have to be considered when you're thinking about what to do with Michael Gallup. You could say we're going to keep Amari Cooper here long term and Michael Gallup. You could say we're going to keep Amari Cooper here long term, but then we won't be able to afford Michael Gallup. And it is quite a luxury to have 3 of those guys. You could say we're having to keep Amari Cooper here because we just flipped a switch and kicked a can so we could go sign a $12 million player. Therefore, it's going to be harder to keep Michael Gallup, so we could trade him away now. You could look at Michael Gallup and say he makes $2 million. If we think our team has a chance to win this year, why are we trading away $2 million assets? That's a very affordable asset. Let's get the most out of him. Or, according to this rumor, you could look at, let's trade him for an expensive asset? What keeps getting omitted from this rumor is that Gilmore makes $17 million. He's a very fine cornerback. Could be a defense changer. And wants a new contract, wants a raise. Oh. So I know this is going to cost me my opportunity to get 88,000 followers this week, 88,000 subscribers, because you want to hear differently, but I'm going to have to feed you logic. How and why are they going to bring on a $17 to $20 million cornerback? If they were interested in bringing on an expensive cornerback, why didn't they already do it? They could have done Patrick Peterson for $10 million. You want Patrick Peterson at $10 million, or you want Gilmore at $20? I think I have my answer, and I think the Cowboys have theirs too. There's a whole bunch of cornerbacks out there that you can still go get for 10. Why do you want to do one for 20? He's twice as good. Gilmore's twice as good as Patrick Peterson? No, he's not. He's twice as good as Adoree'? No, he's not. He's twice as good as William Jackson III? No, he's not. So that's the part of the math that doesn't make any sense. And these YouTube guys that are selling this to you, they either are unaware of this or they want you to be unaware of it. A $2 million wide receiver has value. A $17 to $20 million cornerback does too, but if I wanted an expensive cornerback, I could keep Gallup and go buy the cornerback. I wouldn't have to trade Gallup to get the cornerback. There's free agency. I can go buy a cornerback. If I want to spend $17 million on one, I can. I don't. I could take the $17 to $20 million that Gilmore has/wants, and I could go buy Patrick Peterson and Adoree'. I could go buy Adoree' and Richard Sherman. I could get 2 of them. So when you're kind of filtering through how to put together this puzzle, how to cut up the pie, as the Joneses like to say, we got to put in their salaries. We have to include how they fit in the cap. $20 million cornerback being traded for a $2 million receiver is not a cap-friendly move. Keep the $2 million receiver and go buy a $10 million cornerback, okay? And to buy the $10 million cornerback, flip the switch on Amari, meaning he stays longer, and be prepared to part with, eventually, Michael Gallup. Now, you get to the trade deadline, if the Cowboys aren't good this year, and Michael Gallup's not going to help you contend, not going to help you win the NFC East title, I'll trade him at the trade deadline. But right now, the Cowboys should be planning, hope they are, to win the NFC East. They should be plotting to win the NFC East. They should be building to doing that, which is what Dak Prescott said they were. Absolutely. Best team in the NFC East. Stephen Jones said at the press conference, yes, best team in the NFC East. You don't have to trade away a $2 million player to acquire a $20 million player to be the best team in the NFC East, nor to get better. You can keep the $2 million player at wide receiver, and you can buy a $7 million cornerback and make yourself better. And that's in line with what the Cowboys are thinking at this time. As always, we have to throw a never say never in there. Listen, if the Cowboys trade with the Patriots for Gilmore, you will be the third to know. And I will eat it a little bit because I don't see it happening. But if it happens, we'll discuss it here. But the puzzle pieces, the pie slices, do not fit, no matter how many times guys try to get you to subscribe by telling you otherwise. By the way, do subscribe, but you'll have to put up with truths that you may not enjoy. And I'm sorry, sir, every once in a while you're going to have to put up with watching me drink coffee, Kool-Aid, or 105 to 3 The Fan Brew Crew beer. Fish out.